Hey, this Omar, and just quick thoughts on the Monday night game that happened between the Bears and the Patriots, and get my little take on it. And it was a it was a strong performance by the Bears. Overall offense, defense. They was their best performance of the season. What I'm saying, without question. Uh, Justin Fields. He played like a game manager type of game as far as passing the ball. He was 13 to 21, 179 yards, one touchdown, one pick. Rushing the ball. It seems like that's gonna be their new imprint. They kind of remind me of like how Philly was trying to get Jalen Hurts comfortable and how Baltimore used to do when Lamar Jackson first got in the league. So it seems like they're finally like trusting Fields enough to like say, all right, we just a running team, and he can open the run is going to open up the passing, especially for him, and it's working out because the offense definitely been like averaging I think 180 or 190 plus yards in recent games. And so last night Fields had 14 carries with 82 yards and a touchdown. So he added that with the passing that he did. Uh Montgomery, he had 15 touches for 82 yards and a touchdown. And Herbert, he had 12 carries for 62 yards. He also had one catch for 25 and a touchdown. So he was he was doing this thing. He's a lot faster than you think. Like when they get him out in open space. Well, they needed to start designing plays where they could kind of get him in the open space because he got some fast twitchies. You know what I'm saying? He be moving once he gets some momentum. You know what I'm saying? And he got some moves too. So I like their backfield. Their backfield solid. They just got to beef up the offensive line, which they probably do in the draft coming up. But the receiver that did the best was um Mooney. Mooney had 6 targets. He caught three for 53. So he's the guy that gets the heavy volumes for most weeks. Uh, Equinus St. Brown, he had 7 targets, 4 for 48, and Clement had 3 targets, 2 for 32. So like I said, they didn't really go too crazy with the passing because the running game was going so strong. They was also on third down, they was 11 of 18. So they was just, keeping the ball and just, what I'm saying, converting. That's a pretty good percentage, you know what I'm saying? Especially against the Patriots defense. Now, Justin Fields, he also fumbled the ball, but they lost two. He lost two of them. Well, no, take that back. He just fumbled the ball, and then a couple of his boys recovered it. But that's what he got to work on though, like being able to like because the weather's going to start getting worse for them up there. So he gonna have to learn to keep his hands on the ball because I think he do have a lot of fumbles. Now he got a few fumble loss, but he's starting to be like a fumbler, like how Daniel Jake. Nah, not Daniel. Daniel Jones, the quarterback for the Giants, how he used to be, but he's not that so much this year. But as far as like just getting that grip and whatnot. So you also look at the defense. The defense chimed in with only one sack, but they had some turnovers that was kind of giving the Bears some short fields. Gordon had a pick, Brisker had a pick, and Raekwon Smith, he had a pick, and he also chimed in with 12 tackles. So the dude is a beast, man. I mean, if they be stupid and let him slide and hit the market, man, he gonna get blessed because he a baller. You know what I'm saying? And then they add subtle piece. I think they still got Eddie Jackson and then they got some new people that I ain't really familiar with, but they added some key. Their defense is coming together. You know what I'm saying? On the low, the secondary is solid, and you can see that they with the coaching style, because he got a defensive background, is getting better and better like week to week. You know what I'm saying? You're not just going to go and punk them. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be in for a pretty solid fight, which, that's how most Bears teams have been known to be like throughout history. So, you flip it on to the Patriots side. Uh, Jones came out there, and once he threw that pick, Bill Belichick kind of got off him, which is cool. Like I mean, we could say, all right, Zappy had, he was 14-22, started off real hot. I mean, jumped out and scored them 14 points and whatnot. Like, so you like, all right, this is good. 17-14, this gonna be a good game. And then after that, it's like Chicago cranked it up. You know what I'm saying? Zappy had 14-22, 185, one touchdown, two interceptions. He a rookie, so some the interceptions is kind of like staring the guy down, and he just throwing it. And then the Bears defenders were making some good plays on to get the picks. So it's like they was making some plays. So you got to give them a whole lot of credit for that. Running the ball, they didn't really get to work Stevenson into the game like they would have liked to. He only had 11 carries for 39 and one touchdown. And then they didn't even use Harris at all. He had 3 for 88. So, and then Jones, he had 3 carries for 24, and the 10 was the longest. So, Zappy he just seems like he's a little more accurate. Jones might be more mobile, you know what I'm saying, but he's not as accurate. And so it seemed like they, like Zappy, if Zappy's in, you would trust. If you was playing fantasy, I would trust to play, certain people like Parker and Myers. You know what I'm saying? I would trust them more if Zappy is the quarterback. But if Jones is the quarterback, they too iffy. They seem to be more run dominated when Jones is the quarterback. But we'll see how they look on their next one. Parker, he had 3 receptions for 68 on 5 targets, and Stevenson had 8 targets, 8 for 59. Myers had 2 targets, 2 for 34 and a touchdown, and Thornton only had 1 off of 5. He caught 1 for 19 off of 5 targets. And so, they, like I said, the passing game really was non-existent. The Bears was playing lights out defense. You chime in and see, they was on the field a lot. The Patriots, which was so surprising because normally when Bill Belichick face a quarterback for the first time, he be tricking them enough. But the team they played, they I guess what the culture for the Bears was, we're not gonna make our dude be that vulnerable. So that's why he only threw 21 times. So that was smart coaching on their part. And then they just they took damn what I'm trying to say they damn what's that word? It's on the tip of my head, but they took advantage of the fact that Fields is a mobile quarterback, and the fact that they had design runs, it kind of gave their running game different dimensions. So that's going forward. That's what they gotta stay doing. You know what I'm saying? They the New England secondary had New England defense had 1 interception and had 4 sacks and conversion on third down. They was only 5 or 10. So 50% is solid, but when the Bears was just on the field more and they having all the short fields, it's like they really couldn't get into a rhythm in the second half. So it's like it's an outstanding win by the Bears on the road. They showing that they still got life. They gonna be fighting. I don't know how they record gonna shake out, but that Renegade is gonna be a handful. You know what I'm saying? So and the defense is thumping. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they gonna look and how this guy on the screen starts to progress going forward. You know, because some games they would shut the running game down, but he tough. I seen was the last week. Was it that? Yeah, last week versus Washington, he was getting hit a ton, and he kept getting up, kept getting up. So he got a ton of heart. So you know, it's just gonna be once he started to get grasp the passing game, and they start letting him be more comfortable with it. You know, his game is definitely gonna flourish more. But this running thing that they got going is hot, and so they just gotta roll with it until somebody show that they can stop it. So yeah, that's my quick thoughts on it. Thanks for listening.